Good morning. Happy Monday. Wow. Do you know that Mr. Peter Obi is no longer fighting his battle again? All the battles, arrows, and attacks being meted on Mr. Peter Obi is no longer fought by him. Just look at it. The other day, Professor Wole Soyinka said so many things about Mr. Peter Obi. He even asked Obi not to contest in 2027. Since that interview, Professor Wole Soyinka has been receiving woto from Nigerians because they are not at home with that interview that Wole Soyinka granted. Now, hear what Arise TV Rufai Oseni, Ayo, and Ojirika have to say about that interview that Wole Soyinka granted.
Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka has yet again questioned the leadership potential of Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, stating in a recent interview that he is unfit to govern Nigeria. Soyinka cited the conduct of his supporters, known as the Obedience, during the 2023 election campaign as a disqualifying factor. Let's take a look.
I hope for the sake of the nation that he doesn't express interest in the next election. Because for me as a leader, if there was any proof that he was unfit to lead that country, it's in the conduct which he encouraged among his followers. I know for a fact, and I can give you an instance which proved that he was in control of those forces. Simply because when he first came to visit me, I remember the moment when he took out his computers, something, and after he made a statement like, "Oh, don't worry, everything, will be technical. You don't have anything to worry about these people." He was talking about the quote-unquote obedience. I remember he took out his computer, his phone, and he tapped, a message, there. And he shot me. I was watching him very closely. I didn't say a thing. And after that, everything seemed to be, to be nice and cozy.
All right. Professor Wole Soyinka, Nobel laureate. The last time he called Peter Obi Bajue. Remember that? Well, all right, Reactions will definitely trail this. Let us take this tweet from Distinguished, who wrote, "This was Soyinka in 2024. After almost 8 months of Tinubu, I don't criticize heads of state till after a year. So he went to Aso Rock to give Tinubu 7 points agenda. But he can criticize Peter Obi, who isn't in Aso Rock. These are the elders we should respect." Daniel Rega wrote, "Wole Soyinka is entitled to his opinion about Peter Obi and the Labour Party. But I'm yet to see him criticize the present government or those currently in power, which speaks volumes for someone who's highly respected. His bias is glaring for all to see. With his voice, he can help start serious conversations." I mean, yes, that is true. He with his voice definitely can start serious conversations. But that's not the only thing, Wole Soyinka talked about during that interview. He also talked about the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is, has a right to, agitate for a separate nation. For all he knows, he did not bomb anywhere. So, he also talked about that. But that's the type of conversations that we are expected to hear from a leader like Wole Soyinka.
One thing has to be said. I would like to ask Professor Wole Soyinka and other people, what is this thing about Obi? That means there's something, a goal you people see in this Obi. Because this man did not win elections. And after not winning elections, he's gone about conducting himself, doing his charity, but he's still the main point of conversation. Mm-hmm. So, kini gan pa Obi?
What does that mean?
Kini ni pato ni pa Obi? Because this man, he came to visit you. Afterwards, we all know how the visit went into a big hula baloo. I don't want to talk more about that visit because I was very privy to a lot of things that happened in that visit, and I don't want to talk, for the sake of privacy. But afterwards, he went that way, and you keep indicting him as regards to the conduct of obedience, which are young people that have a right to react. What about the people that, did ethnic strife? What about the people that carried Oro in elections in Lagos? Professor Wole Soyinka has not said anything about that. What about people that were beaten? Professor Wole Soyinka has not said anything about. What about people in Ikota that were beaten? All of a sudden, Oro came out because of election. He's not said anything about that. But this thing is always about constantly Obi. And when we ask him to comment about the current president, he said, I don't comment after 1 year. Now it's 1 year. Now he should comment. He will not still comment. So what is this thing really? Kini oro Obi yi ni pato? I'm asking, the same man you went a couple of months, you went to call them Bajue and all sorts of,
yeah.
and you think people will not, and when they react to him now,
don't forget that.
you call them fascists and things like that, and this was an election that you only heard one side of the story, you were not full privy to.
Yes, but
and there are many things that you should know, because Professor Wole is 90 already.
Yeah.
But we will not stop respecting him for the role he plays. I dove my heart for him, because when it was time to stand tall, he stood tall in this country, and I say we have a lot of respect for him, but there are some things we say that would disagree.
Yeah.
We can respect him, I disagree with you.
Yes.
So I disagree with him on this.
Yes, I actually, liked those tweets because, May 29, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, 1 year in office. I'd love to hear from him as well regarding, we can't wait. May 29th is coming. We hope that he says something about this current administration, because it would definitely speak volumes, especially given the fact that he's constantly criticizing the strong opposition.
I'm one to lean towards Rufai saying, what did Peter Obi do? Because remember, he didn't even come second according to INEC.
Yeah.
He came third. So what to do about the fact that, but let me say that Professor Wole Soyinka is a well-respected elder statesman. His contributions to Nigeria, not just locally, internationally, putting Nigeria on the global map with his writings and other things, is one to be certainly celebrated. However, I think in fairness, in him being fair as an elder statesman, it would be good for him to speak in a way that is objective and across board. Professor Wole Soyinka is from Ogun State, the southwest part of Nigeria. And this is the southwest part of Nigeria, particularly in Lagos State, where we saw an election that was driven largely by, to a very large extent, let me not say largely, but significantly by ethnic slurs and ethnic divisions. And I didn't see him come out to condemn those things in very strong terms, because he ought to be proud of his own heritage, being a Yoruba man himself, and to say, no, we're not going to stand for that. Nigeria cannot survive being divided. Oji, we saw on TV where someone came and talked about Yachukudi. And talked about the fact that, they were going to, if the people were told not to come and vote if they looked a certain type of way. I would have expected him to also use the same energy to speak about that. We see vitriol online, not just from the obedience he talks about, but also people who come out to say that, even
people in government.
Just check on YouTube.
They called me Omuale Yoba.
Just check on YouTube, the comments. It is saddening to see that we've descended to such a level in Nigeria where the only thing we can use as an attack is the way you come from, where you are, your heritage, and that's why we talk about this whole unity in diversity. So I would expect that he should be promoting the unity of the Nigerian people, and that's why I'm glad that he spoke about the Nnamdi Kanu issue.
Yes,
I thought that brought some balance to that.
Yeah.
So the obedience, let me not lie, this obedient movement, even though it's couched under the name, calling for Mr. Peter Obi, are young Nigerians who are tired of the way Nigeria is, and so they've come out very strongly to speak against it. And to be honest, for a number of them, they saw something different in Mr. Peter Obi, a new hope, a deviation from the normal. And that's why a lot of people were willing and able to stake their lives, in quote, to support him. So it's not because he forced people or he's acting. In fact, if I would say anything, Mr. Peter Obi has conducted himself very well in the course of this, and condemned actions at certain times when it came down to it. So I do believe that he should be fair and should be more in support of
the idea really is that the obedience are just young Nigerians that are looking for a new wave of good governance. So they are not just supporters of Peter Obi. They really are supporters of Nigeria, wanting good governors for Nigeria.
you.